Yep.
What else? So Street Fighter 6 also came out. We haven't really talked about it since it kind of came out around the summer game craziness. I have not touched it. I'm not a fighting game
Wow.
person. I
Uh,
have it.
uh,
Well, we're doing something at work where we're going to be playing it for something. So I've been abstaining.
I watched the best thing about I can say Street Fighter because I haven't played it, right? I would say the best thing I can say about it is I watched Jake's video and Jake has this line in it. It's like everyone has like a sick ass and cool boobs. And I'm like, that is the greatest line ever in any video review of all time. Just fucking everyone else
ass
go
and
home.
cool
Everyone
boobs.
has a sick ass and cool boobs.
It's true. Boobs or boots?
Boobs, cool boobs.
I thought you said boots, and I was like, oh.
No, I had to pause the video when I was watching it because I lost my shit so much at that line.
Oh, I'm glad.
So yes, that
Tinder
is
profile.
literally my.
I'm looking for sick ass and cool boobs.
I haven't not played it at all. Otherwise, that's literally my only comment on Street
Oh,
Fighter.
it's so
Other
good.
than I can see it, obviously people are really liking it. But are people liking it? Are they sticking with it? How's it going in that longer tail stuff?
Yeah, it's going. There's more vibrancy and like buzz around Street Fighter than there has been in a long time. Street Fighter 5 was like a game that came out and there wasn't a lot of like excitement around it. People like eventually, it was almost felt begrudging in the way that community kind of like rallied around it. It was like, it's just Street Fighter, so we're kind of obligated to play this game and figure it out. And it never yielded the kind of excitement that Street Fighter 4 definitely did. And this feels like it's a complete like 180 on that, and there's like a buzz around the entire game and people are figuring things out and there's an excitement for more content. There's people who I've never seen talk about or play fighting games being like, I've got Street Fighter, I'm playing Street Fighter, it's fantastic. And we were in LA and people were like bringing Steam Decks and not switches, hitboxes and like
We had it in our green room, didn't we?
yeah, at one
Just
point
people,
Yeah,
people
that's
just
right.
like bouncing and going play
gathered
Street
around
Fighter.
like people just playing that and it's like it is like, and that just speaks, and it's happening because it's a fantastic game. It's got like open-ended systems, it's got way more room for creativity. It's actually got a cast of characters that has really kind of like people have really taken to. It can always be hit and miss when they make new characters, and even one of the characters in the game, Luke, was introduced in the Street Fighter 5 and they brought him on and they were like, he's the new face of Street Fighter, and people were like, he sucks, he looks like a douche and we hate him.
I remember though that thread. There was a lot of anger
Yeah,
towards that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And they took that character and reworked him to the point where now people genuinely like him. He's like a
Wow,
nice,
okay.
yeah. They've like reworked. He doesn't look as much like a douche, but he's still got that cocky mannerism, and he feels like he's a leading man now. He'll never replace Ryu or Ken, but like
Sure.
they at least are making a good case for him. And I know people who are like main Luke now instead of being just disgusted by his hair and his attitude.
He's got weird
Sure.
Popeye arms.
Yes, weird Popeye arms. That weird like he had like
Looking him up.
the 5 from Street Fighter, the Street Fighter 5 logo like tattooed across his chest, and he looked like a Jake Paul wannabe, and it was awful. But yeah, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
systems are like, now he looks way better. He looks like he looks like a kind of guy that you wouldn't be upset having a conversation with. But yeah, like the systems are really well thought out and satisfying. People are like really spending a lot of time figuring out characters and finding hidden depths of them and figuring out how these weird systems interlock and break or don't break and can be like exploited. And there's like a buzz around competitive play as well, and it's just an exciting time to be a Street Fighter fan right now, especially, which is something that I've definitely missed. And it's been like, I've been hoping it would be that, and I'm so glad that it is that. And I'm like excited about the future of this game. There was a time when like Street Fighter 5 came out and they were like, we've got new characters, and I was like, I don't know if I care, man. But like I'm eager for the new DLC characters to drop. I want to play more. I've sadly not played as much as I want to just because of traveling and Summer Games Fest and reviews and that kind of stuff, but I'm just dying to sit down and spend loads of time with it.
Is it like your daily driver, you reckon? Is it like My Destiny, and is it your like
100%.
Street Fighter,
Once
your Destiny?
I think I need to actually like start building the habit again, because
Right.
But what I know that once I sit down and Final Fantasy has been taking a lot of my time, as is Diablo, and those are games that like I start playing to kind of almost sanity check reviews. Like if a review comes in, I generally try and play the games at the same time, and because of that, it means that like Street Fighter came in, I started playing that game for the review purposes, and then Diablo came in, I had to move to that, and then I moved to Final Fantasy, and then Summer Games Fest, and then we were away for a while. So now I'm just waiting for like the calm to hit again, so I can jump in, and it will definitely become my daily driver in the same way Destiny is for you. Street Fighter has always been my daily driver.
Yeah,
I'm just glad that like your type of person likes it, because I played it, I really liked it, but I was like, hey, I like it. I'm like a casual. I think it's a good game for people to get into, but like I have no idea how hardcore Street Fighter fans, the community, is going to respond to it. So I'm so happy. That's good, because like it is just a good package. It's easy to recommend, man. Like in terms of like compared to like maybe other than like the NetherRealm games, because you get all that fun single player stuff. Like out of all the other fighting game franchises, like this is the one now I'm like, oh yeah, no, if you haven't played a Street Fighter or like a fighting game, this is a good one to jump in, because there's so much and I like all of it. It's all like really compelling. The tour mode is fun. It's wacky and silly, but it's a good way of introducing you to the characters, the systems, stuff like that. And I talked about it in my video, but just like the control schemes and how they can kind of gateway drug you to the next one, you know, to go from modern to classic, I think is like super smart. And it is definitely one that I will actually go back to. I usually bounce off of these hard, but now I know like if there is like a place where I see someone playing it, or like when you guys had it in the green room for the Giant Bomb thing, I was like, oh, I would walk up and I would hop in for a little while. And I can't really say that about a lot of fighting games. And that's big for me. Like it made Street Fighter exciting again for me as an outsider, because like I was caught in that Street Fighter 5 thing where like I wasn't like a Street Fighter person, but I was like, you know, nobody really seems super enthused about this.
Yeah.
So now for the enthusiasm to be swirling around 6, it's great.
There's a lightness and almost like a fun approachability to Street Fighter 6 that wasn't there in Street Fighter 5, because it's harder to feel good playing it. Street Fighter 5, you had to like to really feel like you were doing something. You had to have a intimate knowledge of how the game works, because it was built in a way that the only way to feel like you were doing something is to know what you weren't able to do and the limitations of it, and then figure it out. Whereas this feels like you can pick it up and just start hitting buttons, and one, cool stuff will happen. Two, like you very quickly, certainly more than Street Fighter 5, you start to feel a sense of clarity in what you're doing, and you notice, oh, I'm doing this, and thus this is happening, and when I do that, it results in the other player doing this. So you start to learn how to play that game much faster than you would Street Fighter 5. It kind of reminds me of almost, I don't want to make the comparison, but like it's kind of like Smash, where like you pick it up and you're like, oh, if I press up on the stick, this uppercut comes out and it does this. And although Street Fighter 6 definitely has those modern control schemes, that's not what I mean. It's like you press a button and you know, oh, this is going to happen. And then it's very good about rapidly building your confidence in the game, in your ability to play the game, or at the very least in your ability to have fun. Because oftentimes I saw a lot of people play the game, they won't win, but they have enough fun during the process of the fight that they still like, I didn't win, but I had a good time doing it. I want to do it again. And I feel like that's a key kind of major factor in why it's being treated and being received so well.
It feels like very organic how they do it. Like it's like how it's all presented, the amount of content in it that it does get you into. Because I've always been, I dabble, I jump into all the fighting games, but I've always been like expressly intimidated by Street Fighter, and I went into this one like, okay, I'll see what happens. And slowly it kind of just like opened up, and I was like, holy shit, I get this. I really finally get this.
Yeah, I definitely want to circle back to it, because
too.
It looks great, and I just at least want to sample the World Tour stuff, and I want to see the arcade stuff, and you know, I don't think I can imagine myself going into the online stuff, but hey, maybe if it pulls you in and it pulls me in and I really connect to it, sure. But I do want to see what they've done with all that, because everything I've heard about it is just everyone's loving all that stuff as well. So yeah,
make a weird freak, go run around World Tour mode, give it a couple of hours. It starts a little slow, but like I mean, you could just run up and punch anybody you want.
How long does it take to get through that World Tour? Is it like 10 hours? What do you reckon?
I think it's like I think it's longer than that. I think it's like.
Oh,
15,
really?
I think it is
Okay.
a little longer than
15
that.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Surprised.
I mean,
I
it
would've thought-
depends how many like old ladies you're beating up on the way.
Sure,
Yeah,
a lot, bit of
that's
all
what
of
I
them.
was
what I
gonna
was
say.
doing
Yeah, of
mostly.
course.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
it's my world tour is on site for old ladies. Like if you're an old lady, you're getting it in my
It's
world.
on site.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm very excited to listen to the soundtrack. Which have you seen this? The soundtrack is coming to streaming devices,
No,
platforms
no.
with
Nice.
a cool 284 tracks.
Oh my god!
Whoa.
Wow,
Yeah.
how does it
Yeah.
have that many? Like, is it like
I do not know.
that's wild? Wow. Okay.
Good
There's-
lord.
'cause there's
Unless,
like-
I mean,
There's like day and night versions of a lot of songs, so it's like
right.
very
Yeah.
weird.
But still, 200. Gee, almost 300. That's excessive.
Wall to wall
But, you
bangers.
know.
Let's hope they do
Well-
that much sound track when they eventually make a new sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh god, imagine.
Please, let's do that.
Gonna take you for a ride.
That's right.
Hope you enjoyed that clip of the Friends Per Second podcast. To check out the full episode, head over to SkillUp's YouTube channel or search Friends Per Second everywhere you get your podcasts.